Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Dani. Today we're doing a little show and tell, maybe. Maybe that's what we'll call it, a little show and tell. I snagged a couple of new decks recently, and I also made a playing card deck, which I want to show you guys. And I finished up some new journals, and I know a lot of people like to take a look at them and stuff, so I grabbed those two to show you guys what's popping up in my shop. Uh, it actually should be up in there already. But anyway, everything that I'm going to show is going to be linked down below except for the first thing. Because, I mean, technically I am going to link it. But as of right now, it is out of stock. I don't know if this is going to go back into print. I don't know. I'm sorry. But I got this in a trade with Lisa when we went to StarCon back in January. We brought each other a couple of decks, and I actually snagged another one while I was over there, so I'm going to show you those first. The first one is the one that I traded with Lisa. So it is the Divine Muses Oracle. So I love the style of this, okay? Let's start with that. Just really pretty little box. Plain and simple. Looks like a book. So cool. Anyway, very, very beautiful art. I love the way that this is done so much. It reminds me of really a lot of the decks that I have. Not only some of the collage decks I have, but like the oh, let me show you. The vintage... What is it called? Vintage Wisdom Oracle. Like, it kind of reminds me a bit of this. Whoop. A bit of this one, right? It's those old kind of, I guess, Victorian style images. So it's already a style that I like. It's already a look that pulls me in. So that alone was super intriguing. Now, unlike most oracles that I prefer, this one doesn't always have the clearest keywords. I don't always know exactly what's going on. I mean, we can see like the spirits of air. Again, you can kind of create your own meaning in that way where you don't have to rely on the book. But it does leave a lot to be questioned. You know what I mean? Like, I want to read more, I want to see more. And normally, I like oracles that I can take out of the box and just use, that I don't have to have the guidebook with me at all times. I have very, very few. I can think of one or two off the top of my head that I could, but probably would not be without the guidebook when I use it. So that's usually something that I'm not a huge fan of. However, this deck, there was something about it. I was like, I have to try. I have to play with this. And for the most part, I think it's pretty well I want to say like diversified, but it's pretty well, it's a pretty good mix of regular, usable, kind of out of the box keywords and ones that you might want to dig a little deeper with. But I have done readings with this deck, and what I did was I put the spread out, I looked through it, I did the reading, and when I was done, I went into the book and I looked to see if my intuition, if my overall vibe kind of matched. Like, is this going to be usable for me if I don't have it? Like, that was really important for me to test out in this. And I did. And it actually worked out really well. And so I'm still experimenting, because there are still some that I'm like a little caught on. But in those moments, I'm like, as I'm getting to know this, I want to read the guidebook, see if something really sticks out to me that I can kind of put in the back of my mind when I see, you know, a card that just kind of doesn't hit right. You know, can I hold a keyword or something with it that might just kind of expand that for me? no, I had to have this. Simply for the muse of art. The muse of poetry. Love. Love so much. Ugh. Anyway, these are just beautiful cards. And look, sometimes if you look closely, you'll see something that doesn't quite pop right out. And this little bird is one of them. I sat with this card. It was one that I pulled with the reading that I was doing. And I sat with that card for probably a good 15-20 minutes, and it wasn't until I was putting it back into the deck that I noticed this. So that was kind of fun. So it always makes me kind of like stop and just like, what am I actually seeing? You know? What in there is catching my attention or hiding from my attention? I love this card, the Sin Eater. Anyway, this is such a great little deck. The guidebook is really good. So it's got all, I mean, look at this. It's huge. It really is. It is huge. 276 page guidebook. So this is 55 cards, 350 GSM, matte linen cardstock is what this is on. So we have just a ton of stuff. Introduction, using the cards, all the oracle cards. We even have like spreads and layouts, analyzing the reading, which is really cool. And then we have all the cards, oracle cards, the muses, and the animals. And it's kind of broken down like that. But we get, look at this, we get keywords at the top, the essence of the card, the shadow. After the shadow, we get a whole section of in the card. So this card, Astral Ascent, the photograph is taken in 1921, is of a Black American aviator, Bessie Coleman. She was the first African American woman to receive her pilot's license, as well as the first Native American aviator, since she was also Choctaw and Cherokee. She was a pioneer in aviation and a star. In 1919, she moved to France for flight school since U.S. schools rejected her for being a Black woman. She earned her license in a year and learned stunts across Europe that she would bring back to perform in the U.S. How freaking cool is that? And like every single one talks about each one of these. What's in the card? You know? It's that little bit of extra that really, really excites me. So we're talking about the muses here. 9 classical muses are listed below by their Greek name, along with what they performed. And so I think she took one of each. So of course we have Frida here. It talks about Frida. The muse of astrology. Comedy. Dance. Eloquence. History. Hymns, music, poetry, tragedy. Oh, so cool. And then the animals and alchemy, it does show here kind of the representatives and what there's blackening, whitening, iridescent, yellowing, reddening, cycles, rebirth. So it kind of goes through all those. So we have the raven, the deer skeleton, the peacock, the humans, the lion, and the Ouroboros. Like, there's just so much thought and effort went into this book. We even have, like, just a full bibliography of, like, all the things. It's just so well done. Here's the author. So well done. So I have been playing with this. I've been exploring this and like how I'm using it and different ways that I want to use it. So for one that I probably would not have immediately purchased or went towards, I'm actually really happy that I have this in my hands and I'm able to play with it, because it's really taking me outside the box, because I like the content and the structure enough to want to play with something like this. And I feel like that's kind of where it is. Like, I have to really, there's got to be something about it that really keeps me. Not only does it catch me, but it can keep me. Wanting to use it and wanting to know more and just kind of expanding on that. And I think the other ones that I have, which, of course, the Fairies Oracle was one that started out that way. It's not so much anymore. But, like, I also have the Heart of Fairy, which I do still keep the book around. I do have Seed and Sickle that I keep the Dawn and Dusk books around that I use in that way. That one right now I am trying to decide if I want to add keywords to it. But some things are so similar, like I don't know. I've been trying to see what I want and how I want to structure it. I don't know. To be seen. It's right here with a couple other decks that I'm looking to modify and trying to decide what I want to do. So we'll see how I do with that. But anyway, this is definitely one that has got my attention right now, and I am thoroughly enjoying. So my next one that I got while we were at StarCon is by Stacey Williams Ng. This is the Southern Botanic Oracle. I was really excited to see this. It really made all the alarm bells go off. Such a beautiful and well done oracle. I absolutely love what's in here. So we have a really nice box, a nice guidebook. I've only looked in it like once or twice. I haven't done much. Again, right out the box, I'm like, I'm good. But it is really well done, and there are a lot of really cool things that are in this guidebook and the way that it's described and things like that, with some further reading in the back, which I thought was really cool. So yeah, it's definitely one that I do want to play with a little bit more in the guidebook, just because I just like the way that it's written, and I like the way that that she did this oracle. Also, we have some really cool little layouts, mixing decks. She talks about tarot and oracle mixing. Super cool. Anyway, these are the backs, and they are just absolutely gorgeous. Some strawberries, crepe myrtle. Oh, so many of these I recognize. I just love the way that these are drawn and illustrated, because it does give you a sense of depth, which really, oh, look at this iris, which really gets me excited. Like when something looks like I can reach in and touch it, obsessed. Look at these butter beans. The Spanish moss for self-expression and flow. Love that. Azaleas, oak. Just gonna kind of, some okra and honeysuckle. Be still my heart. I love anything with honeysuckle in it. Swamp lily, lemon balm, which I have all over my garden. Some pokeweed, the lovely magnolias. Look at these ghost pipe. Ugh. Anyway, these are beautiful. They have really great keywords on them, as well as the scientific name. So like star jasmine, spiritual gifts, and abundance. So I love that everything is on the card, where it's not just the name of the plant and its scientific name, but we actually have two to three. I think most of them are two. I don't know why I thought there might have been three somewhere. Maybe it's just two. But there are two keywords with everything, for sure. So, Love this. They're pretty big, these cards. Comparison. So the ones that I just show you were basically tarot size. So these are going to be a little bit bigger. They're on a really nice kind of matte cardstock. Really bendable. And sometimes I find oracles are hard to shuffle because of their size. Just because the cardstock tends to be stiffer, and so it doesn't have as much bend, and so not only are you stretching your hands, but then you're having trouble bending. But these, look at this. Let me see if I can do it from the side. Let me do this first. Look at this bend. Like, it really does have a lot of flexibility without feeling like cheap or flimsy. So I'm really a fan of these. And I think I said it. It's like 45. Yeah, 45 cards. So it's not an exceptionally large oracle. So again, that makes it a lot easier to shuffle when we have something of this size. They do kind of rattle around a little bit in the box, but I don't really shake them up too much, you know, so that really doesn't bother me. On next to my most recent obsession. Kipper. Okay, so I have been playing with, I have the box right here. I do need to find my cards. I don't know what I did with my zipper pouch with my cards in it. Anyway, I've been playing with this. It's a Lenormand and Kipper, right? The Siren Song has 2 sets, Lenormand, and then the Kipper goes here. And Tony wrote the book for this, Tony Savory. And it is absolutely amazing. The way that it's kind of broken down and the way that she talks about merging Lenormand and Kipper. Anyway, it got me in this whole rabbit hole, and I have been just playing with this system and learning it and you know, trying to understand the directionality and I don't know, it's a different type of reading. It's a different vibe. Very Lenormand-ish, but not exact. And so it's kind of moving in its own way, which is really, really fun. So it just really intrigued me, and I got real deep into it. And so I was like, I would like a plain one, because this one it's the Siren Song, so it is based on, and has like the sirens instead of, you know, the man and the woman. It has Siren 1 and Siren 2, and different things like that. So some of the things are renamed, and some of the things are, you know, specific to that deck. So I wanted just like a basic one. And this one, of course, caught my eye because there's even some images from Pear Tree Court in here. So y'all know I love the look of this one. So I snatched this one up, and I've been playing with this one, which I really like. There is no little white book. There's nothing with this. It is literally just our little wraparound box and the cards. Now, there is a separate book. Here's the thing. I'm not 100% positive that I want to read too much into it, because I'm really liking the flow. I don't know if I want to add complication to the way that I read these, but I'm also incredibly curious, so I'll probably end up buying it and reading it. I'll keep y'all posted on that. But anyway, these are the lovely Kipper cards that I grabbed. And I love the tone. It looks like all the old papers, which I'm totally here for. We have some beautiful imagery, very simple. Look at that. She's so beautiful. I just absolutely love the whole look of this. And like I said, it makes me even more excited because I see it and I think of Pear Tree Court. Let's see if I can find... I think I have her saved. She's not in there, though. There is one guy that's in here. Oh, here he is. He is in Pear Tree Court. Our rich man is in there. Where's she at? Let me find it. Here he is. So we have openness is our rich man. So that was just like super fun to see that in there, because these are all, again, from fashion plates in the late 1700s, at least the ones that I perused from. So a lot of that is in there, but this, as you can see, is gilded, not sticky. Really, you can't really tell, like, the way that it's done, even though it's shiny. Like, normally you can kind of feel it. I mean, everything is humid over here, so everything feels sticky to me, but it doesn't stick together. It's not sticky, you know? Now, I will say it is very, like, it is kind of cheap feeling cardstock, where it's sturdy, but she bends, you know? Like, do you see there's a bit of a warp in it? And it's like, it's not flat. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, there is kind of a twist in it. But again, I'm like, is it the cardstock? Is it Louisiana? But I do have a lot of cards that feel like this, that are not kind of twisted like that. So, I mean, it's not the best quality as far as the cardstock, but it was also like $16. Like, I'm not tripping about it, because it's exactly what I wanted. It's exactly what I wanted. Something that has maybe a little more traditional wording on it, and something that I can play with the directionality, because it doesn't seem like there's any set. It has to be this way, it has to be that way. It's just like, it has to be differing viewpoints, and forwards and backwards, and directionality, and what's near it, what stops it, what moves it. It's so interesting. If you guys want to play around with Kipper with me, definitely let me know. I have done it with my members. I kind of did a workshop the first time I was really playing with it with them. So if you guys want to see some of that, or play a little more with Kipper and Lenormand, by all means, let me know. We'll do that. So yeah, my current new obsession is this Kipper. And I kind of dig the fact that there's not an insane amount of Kipper cards. So it was really easy for me to be like, oh, I like these. Period. Because the only other ones that I've seen are just not really my style. So I think I was given, when I looked on Amazon, I think I was given like 4 options maybe. And the ones that I've seen now, I didn't dig super deep. So if you guys know of any Kipper cards that you think I might like, I mean, I'm not going to say don't tell me, okay? But, like, I even looked up, I Googled it, and I saw a few indie ones. But, again, I'm, like, 3 maybe? And most of them weren't my style. So, yeah. I have this one. I have my Siren Song Kipper, which I do absolutely love working with. I do love it. It's just so... I don't know. I love the way that it brings you to a time of pirates almost. I don't know. I love it. Anyway, so I'm really satisfied with that. I don't feel like I need more, but I am interested. If you guys have some really cool ones, let me know. I'd love to know. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so now on to the section of the things that I made. Now that I made some stuff. So these are my Petite-Fille playing cards. So I created these from, well, I say from, I loved these 1800s style cards where there's just these whimsical characters, but they're full bodied. They're super cute, and I was like obsessed with these for the longest time. I'm like, and I can probably go and find a copy of them. I think they have some that are kind of like being recreated and things like that. Um, but I absolutely loved it. I loved the style, but I was like, I want to make it mirrored. Like, I want that whimsical style mirrored in the same way that, I have my regular playing cards, like where where are we at, baby? Oh, do I have one right here? There we go. You know, mirrored. I wanted that look. These are the kind of cards that I grew up playing with. Most of us have. These newer mirrored styles. So I was like, I want to take that and put it into that style and kind of change up some of the things that are on there and make it my own and just have my own set of like quote unquote vintage antique playing cards in a style that I really liked. So I got to drawing and I came up with this. And when I was looking for my jokers, I decided that I had to, and I have a little blip about it in here. I decided that I had to pay some homage to my grandparents, which is where the Petite-Fille comes from. It is granddaughter in Cajun French. Um, Probably in regular French too. I don't know. I know in Cajun French. So I say Petite-Fille. Yeah, my grandpa used to say Petite-Fille. But I wanted to represent them in some way, shape, or form, and all I could think about were, you know, the smoky haze of playing cards, whether it be with my grandmother and her sisters or sitting at the table at my granny and pop's house with, you know, everybody gathered round with a game of solitaire on the table. It was that haze, right? So, my jokers are a lit and a put out cigarette. One of which has my grandfather's name on this, and my grandmother's on here with a little bit of lipstick. So those are my jokers. And these are my cards. So I wanted to check out this cardstock. I'm probably gonna say it wrong, but it's like eco herbit, I don't know. But it's like the eco paper from Make Playing Cards because I wanted this texture, I wanted this feel, I wanted it to possibly get some aging on the cards. I want to be able to have it look and feel very vintage. And it's like a matte. There's a texture, but it's not linen. It's like just the matte texture. And you can see I put these, my backgrounds are old tea-stained paper that I have like a watercolor or like paper texture to where it's hard to catch here, but you can kind of see. So it has that look to it. And with this kind of matte cardstock, it's like you can almost feel it. It almost feels like vintage paper, which I love. This is exactly what I wanted. So I printed it on these, and it is just a regular playing card deck. So I'm like, you can do whatever. You can play with all your friends. You can do a little bit of gambling. You can play some solitaire, or you can pull some cards and do playing card readings, which is what I love. This is the back, just plain and simple. I didn't want any kind of bells and whistles. I just wanted my own playing card deck, basically. And so I had this one printed. It came out exactly like I wanted, so I threw it up on Make Playing Cards if anybody's interested. Yeah, this was just a very sentimental project for me, and it's something that I wanted in the world, and I just wanted to show you guys. And Yeah, I'm really proud of the way these came out. I really love the style, that whimsical style with kind of that classic look of the mirrored, and I just had a great time. I had a great time. Let me turn this phone off. Okay. Up next, I finished 3 new journals. So I have one that's done very classically in the way that I normally do. So I have my 3 signature. Fit her all in there. This one has tabs on the side, things kind of poking out. I just wanted it to be very textured, this book. I call her Jerry. I don't know why. I just do. This one is very earthy. We have an open me at the beginning. I just had so much fun with this one. I found some really cool pages. I have some pullouts. It does have a very earthy vibe, I find. So I tucked in a lot of kind of nature things. Like I have stickers in here and all kinds of stuff. Lots of places to write. Book pages. Tea-stained pages. Little ones. Big ones. Tabs. All kinds of stuff in here. I don't know. There are sometimes where I painted pages. There's sometimes where I'm just like, I want tabs everywhere. And then there are some books that I don't put any tabs in at all. But this one, I was just like, I want all these textures, all this look. So I have, you know, strings, lace, cut paper, vellum, just all kinds of things in here. I just wanted this one textured. Book pages that I kind of rip up, and stickers. I even have like a half page here. This is a little folder, little tuck away down here. Put quite a few of those in here as well. Bunch of ephemera, strips of texture on the pages. I just had a lot of fun with this one. Even on this open space, I was like, oh, she needs something. Again, bunch of folds. I won't give it all away, but yeah, I just have tons of stuff tucked away in this one. And then in this third signature, I have some music pages, book pages, some really fun images that I found for this one. There was no particular theme in mind. I even have some like tarot cards stuffed in here. There was no particular theme. I just kind of pulled stuff that felt like it went together, and I went from there, and I had such a great time putting together this little book. So I have this one. She's a chonker. And then I grabbed a few books that I was like, I want to make journals out of these books. So my first one is Owl at Home. This is from the 70s, question mark. It was a very old book. Matter of fact, you can't really see, it's all glued in there. It's also like plastered in there, like sewn in. But it actually came apart. It was very, very fragile. So I pieced it all back together and created this journal out of it. I did put some of its pages in here. So let me untie. This little guy has a little owl charm on there. So you can see I just wanted it to look old. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to keep that vintage feel. So a lot of the pages I aged. I kept things very kind of raw and textile. But it's got some of the original pages in there. Some stuff kind of tucked in with it. Some of the old pages. This one I didn't do an extreme amount of decoration. I kind of wanted to leave this pretty simple. You know, I wanted someone to kind of decide what they wanted to do and how they wanted to love this book. So I do have some folders and a bunch of ephemera in there, but a lot of open space, a lot of places to write. More so an actual journal than maybe like a junk journal, but I turn everything into a junk journal, so whatever. Just some really fun pages. Like I said, I kept this one quite open, though I do have a couple of things that I like, because y'all know I can't help myself. This is part of the book that I kind of threw in there. Another picture from it that I added some space to write. I can't not do anything because I can't help myself. But I do have a lot of stuff stuck in there. And I just love having these old pages in there. Oh, I love it. I love it. Look at these little drawings. Isn't that beautiful? Anyway, so I have this little owl at home. It was like my first attempt to do one like this. And this is a very old book. And the pages were quite fragile. So I wanted to make sure that I put some sturdy ones in there. But they are like old book pages. So they might, I mean, if you fold them too harshly, they might crack, but they just seem like in such great shape, and the texture is awesome, and it's just so much fun. There's so much you can do with it. Even if you break a few pages, I would put it back in there. Like I just want to, sometimes I just want to overdo it, and that's why I didn't touch it very much, because there's so much potential in this little bitty book. So this is just a little single signature book journal. And my last one was something completely new. I can't help it. I have another Alice, but it's fine, because this is the actual little golden book. I do have all the pages from the golden book in here, but they are not in the right order, because that's not what it's about. But they're all in here. So I actually, turn this to the side, this is just the little golden book of Alice. I still have mine. This is not mine. This was an extra that someone had given Lennon, and I already had mine from when I was young, because y'all know I had Alice. And so mine is tucked safe within my house, but I was like, this one I want to make something with. So I had my husband help unstaple the little golden book binding. Had him help me take all that off, and I popped it open, and I created this. So we have a double signature, but she thick still. I put a very thick kind of paper on the back, because it was like a newer golden book on the back, and I didn't like it. It didn't have like the old vintage vibe. So I was like, no, we're gonna alter that. And so she's got some pretty ribbon and a nice spine. We have Wanderlust charm. It's on here. These these are just kind of like ribbons that I put around them just to kind of keep them closed and keep them all together. I don't always like to create a clasp, because some people don't like that, and if you're like me, they'll eventually get real big. So I just like something to tie around just in case I want to keep it closed. But this is Alice. So you open it, it's got the little golden book. I have a sticker. I do have all the edges kind of clasped because I created the center. See, this is the opening page. And here's the back. Decorated a bit. So in here, like I said, the whole book is in here, just not in the same order. We have little pockets, bunch of little ephemera here that I added stuff to the back. This one, y'all know, I love Alice stuff, so I got things in here. I just had a whole blast playing with this energy. The last Alice book that I did was like kind of like the red and black theme. It was really, really big. It was made like the first one that I showed you. So this one I went pink and blue and soft because this Alice was definitely more like a Disney Alice. So there's all kinds of colored pages. I still have tea stain because, I mean tea, right? Avocado stained pages. But yeah, you can see some more from the book, some stamps in here, textured pages. I do have a full folder in here with all kinds of ephemera tossed in. Lots of roses. I even found, see, like this is Alice in Wonderland here. On the other side of this, you can see Alice and the Mad Tea Party here. So I have some vintage books that I pull from, and it just so happened that I found this as I was going through it. So I was like, yes, she going in there, for sure. Stamps and stencils all over this one. Here in the center, she's got gold foil. Isn't that beautiful? All kinds of fun little things that I tucked in here. Made a little collage frame. Can't forget the flamingos, because of course not. Little charms. Oh, speaking of little charms, we have a little Alice charm that hangs from the center in here. Pieces of ephemera kind of tucked here and there. And some little ephemera tucked in here. So yeah, I had an absolute blast. It was my first time making a cover like this. And so that was a really fun process. I really had a great time kind of deciding what I wanted to do and how I wanted it to look and how I was going to create it. And I really love the way that it turned out and all the textures. Because we have almost like this, I almost call it like a drop cloth texture, canvas-esque. And then like ribbon and this soft, it's paper, but it does feel very fibery, I guess. I don't know. I just like all the textures. I mean, texture is a keyword of the day. But yeah, we have little charms and lots of fun pages. So that's what I've been up to, you guys. I've been making stuff. I've been sunk into Kipper. And yeah, that's what's been going on. So anyway, thanks so much for hanging out with me, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this little kind of show and tell and flip through and talk about a couple of the decks and things that I've been up to. If you're looking for any of those, like I said, anything that's available, and even if it's not, I'm going to stick the links down below just in case, because you never know. Things change. So I'm going to stick all those links down below, and I will talk to you all very soon. I'm sending you all my love. Mwah. Later, Gators.